the opportunity today is for the Santanders, the Avivas, the Paddy Powers, the Bauer Medias and so forth, retailers, insurance companies, banks and so forth, to become platforms. We're not going to create new Apple, Facebook, Amazon and Googles in Europe, in Asia, or in Europe. We've got to open up the existing companies and for them to be platforms, for them to become essentially highways for the startups to go to market. No venture capitalist is going to give $50 million sterling euro to a startup to basically acquire customers. They're going to have to do a deal with a partner. And those partners today, every UK entrepreneur is thinking, I got to do a deal with an app store. I do a deal with iOS or Apple App Store, etc. So the point is that if you didn't go to Palo Alto for your funding, you go to Palo Alto for your distribution, and if you didn't go there, then you go to Palo Alto for your exit. The whole thing revolves around Palo Alto. And yet the macro trend is that great entrepreneurs can come from anywhere on the planet. But the infrastructure of entrepreneurship has not been evenly distributed, right? So we need to think a little bit more deeply, because it's a system level problem. To the question of what's the problem, it's a system level problem. Is it just the London stock market? Not just the London stock market. It's that the corporates are not actually highways for these digital cars that are coming down. They didn't even know, necessarily how to do that, right? They're not cloud-based platforms. And what do we mean by that? The future retailers and banks, their business model is going to look like what Apple did to the music industry. It's all going to move towards that set of economic models where there's clear economics for multiple parties, right? It's going to be what Apple did to music, what they did to telecoms, what Google did to advertising. All of those business models are going to look like that. We just need to look at the digital winners, move forward 10 years, that's what's going to happen, right? So the sooner we get there, the sooner we have more choices in terms of how entrepreneurs go to market, right? And I'm not saying anytime soon that people are going to say, oh my God, I need to do a deal with Royal Mail to go to market and get access to 20 million customers through Royal Mail. But they should be thinking, I should be able to do a deal with insurance company, bank. I should be able to go to market with some of these. Because what do the banks and the retailers have? They've got customers. They've got big customer bases. The telcos, the NHS should be a massive highway and platform for British healthcare app digital health companies to go to market. Is the NHS a platform to go to market for digital health companies?
Is there any likelihood of that happening right now?
Well, it was all over the paper that they've, the Independent on Sunday said, we've got a big $30 billion black hole in, for the NHS, but nobody's saying, let's reimagine the NHS to make it really sustainable. It's got to have a P&L. That doesn't mean worse healthcare. That means sustainable healthcare. That means all of these new applications could actually be delivered to all of the patients across the country. But because we've got this mental blockage that healthcare and education have to be cost centers, and we can't imagine that there's a contribution to GDP that British healthcare and education could make, we just say, oh, she must be talking private equity. Oh, it's about private. It's not about privatization. It's about how do we create sustainable models today. And it's really about platforms and the app economy, which is working in every other industry. It's going to hit,
Yeah.
We're not just going to continue to fund the NHS to the tune of 30 billion.
Don't miss London Real. Subscribe now.
Many technology entrepreneurs don't know how to pitch their startup, and when you're doing a startup you can't afford expensive PR people and things like that, so you have to pitch the media yourself, and they weren't doing it right. In London you have the financial industry, financial tech industry is very big, you have a fashion industry, it's very big, media is big, arts, culture, you name it. So all these vertical industries are all equally big. Silicon Valley is no longer a place, it's a state of mind. So if you have that state of mind, you can do anything.